Welcome to Everything Pro Wrestling. Everything Pro Wrestling is a show by the fans, for the fans. And I am your host, Conrad Cushman, and this is your WWE Elimination Chamber 2019 review. What a show, gentlemen. Just went off the air. It was in Houston, Texas tonight. Is it the Toyota Center was the arena, I believe? And we had a hell of a show. And I have two amazing guests tonight. I'm going to let them both introduce themselves, tell you what they do. Let's go with Malik, and then we'll go to Bryan. So, Malik, introduce yourself and let the people know what you do.
All right, like you said, my name is Malik. I'm a YouTuber / podcaster. I have a podcast called 24/7 Wrestling Podcast on Anchor. So I have a YouTube channel, Narcolepsy Boy 94. I do wrestling reactions. I do trivias. I do skits. I do podcasts as well. And I'm happy to be here talking about Elimination Chamber.
Excellent, excellent. And to my next guest, some of you may know him. He did great numbers with me when we previewed, Wrestle Kingdom 13. The man that knows, loves pro wrestling, Bryan Williams from Ukes. Bryan, what's going on, my friend?
Conrad, what up? It's good to be back on the show, man. Thanks for having me again, dog. And Malik, nice to meet you, Nice to meet you, man.
You too.
All right. Crazy, dude. Bryan, what's been going on with you, though? Let the people know what's been happening.
Just chilling and maintaining. Still basking in that glow of WWE 2K19. And working on some future projects. Nothing I can name right now, but shit, man. Just holding it down and just living life right now, man. I'm excited to talk about this event because, I didn't think I would be going into this thing.
At least you're honest, bro.
Yeah, I didn't think this was gonna be a good pay-per-view either. I'm not gonna lie. It's always, isn't it funny? It's always the pay-per-views that we think are gonna be good are bad, and it's always the pay-per-views that we think are gonna be bad. They're always good.
You know, that could just be our I don't know if I should say optimism or I think that's just us as wrestling fans. Like, I was just talking about that today, kind of like we're always looking for something to nitpick sometimes, that we miss something good or something that was actually great. And I think on this show you have a lot to complain about and a lot to be happy about. And we'll see if all of our ideas line up. Let's go through this card, though. We started off the night with a Cruiserweight title match. First and foremost, guys, I want to just start off with this. Why are the Cruiserweights constantly on these damn kickoff shows, dude?
I know, man. I don't understand it. I don't get it either.
I'm at the point now where it's like, I think just for the sanctity and the benefit of that brand, they'd be better off just doing their title matches, keeping all 205 related shit on 205 Live, the show. Because having all their big matches, relegated to the pre-show, it just defines down even further, this brand in people's eyes. I mean, people look at 205 Live. 205 Live now was almost like a joke. Like, who watches that shit? Which is a shame because it's a really, really good show. And and these guys are going out there busting their asses and putting on amazing matches.
Here's the weird thing, though, with 205 Live. In all honesty, like when Bryan, I think you put up the last match that I watched. Like, if someone goes on Twitter, someone I respect, and they're like, yo, you need to check out Hideo Itami versus Cedric Alexander. Sorry, we don't get Hideo Itami anymore.
Yeah.
That was for WWE, that look. But when you tell me to check out a match like that, I'll go watch 205 Live. But any other time, no, I can't. I don't have time for that.
I mean, I get if they, would be on the pre-show just like here and there, but they're on the pre-show every time, dude. It's like, just switch it up, man. This is like, I was happy when they were on Survivor Series. Like, I'm happy that they're actually on the card for Survivor Series. So maybe I thought maybe they were going to start using them more on the main show, and it's just like they just keep putting them on the pre-show, man. I'm just like, oh my gosh.
Yeah, I'm with you, Malik. I was there at the Staples Center at Survivor Series, and that match between Buddy Murphy and who was it? Buddy Murphy and Cedric? Mustafa Ali, yeah. Like, that was a match that I was looking forward to, honestly, more than anything else. And I just assumed it was going to be on the kickoff show. And when it was part of the regular show, I was like you. I thought, okay, maybe this is, maybe they're starting to turn this ship and starting to give these guys a little bit more burn on the the bigger stage. But yeah, man, Malik, you're right. It's like they tease us with that, and then it's been right back to the pre-show.
Right. Like, I get, there are going to be certain times when they may, I get, like, when WrestleMania comes around, they're not going to be on the main show. That'll be on the pre-show. Like, I get that. That's all right. But it's like, when you have There was like 6 matches on the card tonight. You can't tell me they couldn't be on the main show. Like, what? Why? Give me one reason why they couldn't be on the main show. Like, come on.
Yeah, I can't give. There's no good reason. There's no good reason.
Yeah, I'm definitely with you guys on the 205 Live. Now, we all talked a little bit before we started recording this live. And at that time, we were all a little bit busy. So in all honesty, I had the match on my phone, but I was actually at a surprise birthday party. Shout out to Sherelle Wilbon. Aaron, let her know if you see this. But yeah, I was bowling. I was out doing stuff, but I did try and catch this. And from what I saw, Akira Tozawa definitely surprised me with a lot of his moves. The senton on Buddy Murphy coming in through the middle ropes. Amazing. Buddy Murphy I love his selling and his moveset. His moveset is so dope. Hopefully that's something that Bryan can make sure that is all taken care of for next year for us, I hope. But
yeah, you know, in the game this year, bro. I'm sorry.
I tried to get him in the last one.
Yeah, I don't know what was up with that, but I love Buddy Murphy, dude. I think he's one of the most underrated talents, and I'll be very disappointed by the end of the year if him and Cedric Alexander aren't on the main roster. I definitely think they should be, even if you have to form a tag team with them or something.
Yes,
do something with these guys.
Exactly, yeah. I mean, they were already doing good stuff with Mustafa Ali. I mean, he would have been in the match tonight if he didn't get hurt. So, I mean, they were already doing good stuff with him. So, I mean, I think they should be on the main roster too. I mean, maybe not anytime a little soon because I guess they still kind of want them down there for the Cruiserweight division. But eventually, man, you just bring them up. They're not like they can't do stuff with them because they're doing stuff with Mustafa Ali. So,
yeah,
I think it's just a matter of time before they get more burned, especially Buddy and especially Cedric. And Akira Tozawa, I mean, I don't know. Living in LA, I've been, I guess blessed and fortunate enough where I've seen all these guys. I mean, not Buddy, but like Akira, I've seen him at PWG years ago. I mean, this guy, he can go. He really can. I mean, all these guys, Cedric, Mustafa, like all these cats are just so talented, man. So I guess for me, when they signed to WWE, they put him on this show. I watched it and supported it just, almost just because I kind of came up watching these guys. So it doesn't surprise me to hear that Akira had a, stellar match with Buddy. And although I missed it, I am going to go back after this and I'm going to, check out their match because I'm kicking myself for having missed it.
Yeah, I definitely think so. From what I saw, the only thing I really missed was the finish because I was actually helping my wife and we were getting all the stuff and putting it in the car. But I gave it a B+ from what I saw, and I came in from the beginning and I was trying to watch it. And I think I only bowled a couple of sets in between because it was towards the end. But Murphy's Law for the win, 1, 2, 3. I gave it a B+ from what I saw. It could have been better than that, but from what I saw, B+ for the grade for me.
B+, not bad. It's not bad at all.
Not at all for a show. And I'm tough too. Usually there's probably someone in the chat now like, man, you grade too hard and I hate you. And speaking of the chat, let's see who we got in there so I can give some quick shout outs. Guys, make sure you like the video, share the video, tell a friend who likes wrestling, get them in here. I want to talk some pro wrestling. B-Boy Skyline, he won our Royal Rumble shirt. I saw him rocking that shirt. He posted it in the group. So kudos to you, Jordan. Austin Stroop, thank you. He said, Kofi mother effing Kingston, baby. He was happy about this show. Goober316 is in there. Mr. Floodwater 123 saying it's 205 Live. Nobody cares. You better start caring, brother. You better start. And Connor's live reaction says he enjoyed the show as a whole. And I look forward to hearing more of what you guys thought about each match as we discuss it. But the first match we're going to talk about, guys, is for the women's tag team titles. And I've been very interested to hear both your perspectives on this one. It's the women's tag title chamber to crown new, I'm not going to say first time ever like WWE kept trying to push. Show some respect to the Jumping Bomb Angels. Look them up if you don't know.
Thank you, brother. Good on you for that. Yes. Respect the Jumping Bomb Angels.
Exactly. We got Sasha Banks and Bayley in this one, and they started off with Mandy Rose, Sonya Deville. Let's go to Malik first. Malik, give your thoughts on this match.
Not surprised by the winners because I think everybody pretty much predicted who was going to win. But I thought the match was a lot better than I expected to be. I'm not going to lie. I had my doubts about this match. But I thought it was pretty solid. It was really good. Nia Jax going through the pod and shit was like crazy. I was like, well, crap. I didn't see that coming. But overall, I think the match was pretty good. But the winners, I think we all expected,
Now, Malik, I got a question for you. Did you see how I was like ravagely attacked in the group when they were like, how do you feel about this match? And I was just like, nah, I'm not feeling it right now in the beginning. And then everyone was like, dude, what are you talking about? I was like,
yeah. I seen that.
Let me explain myself so that you guys understand this. Because if someone from the group
just started, though, I was like, dude, the match hasn't even gotten into anything yet. Like, relax. Like,
I didn't hear what you said a little bit. You were talking low.
I think the match, when you said that, then the match had just begun too. Like, the match hadn't even really got the momentum going.
Now, I'm going to be honest with you guys. I don't like talking crap about any of the performers because I actually love them all and I respect what they do 100%. And I don't want to be on your block radar because I said you sucked or you did a move wrong. I don't care about botches and stuff like that. And we'll get into that. But the Iconics, bro, they have X-Pac boss man heat with me. Like, I don't want to see you. You're not even like a heel annoying to me. You're just annoying, period. And maybe I feel bad. My wife said the same thing. She was sitting here watching it with me, and I'm just like, dude, this is freaking annoying, and I can't stand these broads. I don't know. Oh, I shouldn't say broads either, but whatever. It is what it is. Like, I don't know. I wasn't feeling them. I hated the beginning of this match. I felt plotty, and I felt like something went wrong. And you could tell in chamber matches when something goes wrong because everybody's a step off and they're like scrambling, like, what am I supposed to do? I'm not in the right spot. Crap. Oh, wait, come here. We're supposed to be together for this. And it felt like that when they were in there for spots of it.
I'm not going to lie to you. I thought going into this match, like, I thought it was going to be a lot of, because the whole Carmella thing going on right now, I was like, man.
I'm not even bringing that up. I can't get into how another man lives his life. I just shout out to my man Wilfred. Check out his podcast as well. But I'm not going to talk about personal stuff with.
I'm saying, like, I thought, like, the crowd. You know how, like, the crowd can be like really
harsh. Oh yeah, yeah. That's just not my thing. I don't like to do that.
That's how I thought it was going to be. I thought the crowd was going to like take over the match and kind of like. You know how crowds can take over matches sometimes. They can kind of get you kind of out of it. So I was kind of worried about that in the beginning. I was like, man, I hope the crowd really doesn't like.
Brian, jump in this. Brian looks like he's chomping at the bit. Go ahead.
Well, no, I mean so like I said, I saw it at the event late, so I got into this match about the 15-minute mark. So the clumsiness and the clunkiness that you experienced at the beginning, like I missed. By the time I started watching this, I enjoyed this match a lot. Better. Like this was not a match that I was looking forward to. Not because of the talent involved. I think me and you feel the same, Conrad, about the whole idea of having women's a women's tag title. It really has nothing to do with the fact that we're adding a new title, but it's like, the WWE, the creative on the main shows can barely book a competent men's tag title division. And the idea and the thought of them adding yet another belt, it doesn't excite me, because I kind of see this as like, okay, here we go. We got this belt in play. The lead up and the build to this match was okay. In my opinion, it could have been a lot better. It was, it was almost like they were dragging their feet with this thing. I mean, for them reintroducing these belts, I kind of expected there to be a much more pathos and just a larger feel of all of the talent involved and leading up to this thing. But like I said, that being said, this match, I really enjoyed it. And I like the Iconics. I get the heat that you feel from them, but that's what they're going for, But I will say, I enjoyed their act more in NXT than the material they've been given since going to SmackDown. They kind of, for me, and I hate because I'm like you. I mean, I don't want to ever talk ill of the performers or anything. I just think they have better material to work with in NXT. But I think they do what they're asked to do, and I think they do it. I think they do it well enough. This match had a lot of cool spots in it. Towards the end, there were some really cool near falls where there was that bank statement into that Bayley to belly suplex that I thought was freaking dope as hell. And that legit popped me. Like I thought, I bought into that hook, line, and sinker. And when Mandy Rose broke it up, I was like, God damn. Because I was like, man, that would have been the perfect ending to this thing. But no, I thought. Oh, go ahead, Malik. I'm sorry, man.
Yeah, this match was a lot better than I thought it was gonna be. It's always like I said, it's always the things that we kind of really did, like we're not really high on, but then like after it happens, we're like, man, that was actually pretty good. So it's like. I had my doubts in this match, but I think it lived up to expectations.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, especially with someone like myself who really, like, I wasn't, Yeah, I was like, oh, here we go. At least when I started the pay-per-view, I was like, oh, but at least this is first, because I hate to say that this was like one of the least anticipated matches I'm looking forward to. But it surprised me.
The question is now
really
how you made the point is that, they're very bad at the tag team division right now is absolutely terrible in WWE. So now the question is, okay, where do we go here from now? Like, what are we going to do now to not only to get us behind the women's tag team titles, but how are you going to book it to where you actually make the creative for the tag team titles really good? Because
I got that.
Exactly.
Title unification match: Sasha and Bayley versus the Revival. Winner gets the old school WWF tag team titles. Boom. Intergender matches are back. No,
but imagine
if fantasy booking for that ass, man. I like that.
I had to find out they had to lose to Sasha and Bayley. I think they would ask her for they'd be like, really, I want my release right after this match, sir. So
I really hope though that they put the focus behind this, because you basically put all the teams in there. You better get Kairi Sane and Io Shirai on the main roster if you're going to do stuff like this. You're going to need more women than for your company, period. Like, you don't have enough. And I heard rumors of the women going back and forth. At the end of the day, man, I think with the championships, and I know we're going off on a little side rant, and I still have some notes I want to go over in this. But if make the champions like be able so that you can go to SmackDown, you can go to Raw, and just have the champions be able to go on both shows. That way you're putting the title on someone who you care about, and then the people can care. And then you just say, listen, this month is SmackDown's title, and you could even do like the Intercontinental is exclusive to Raw and the US is exclusive to SmackDown. You could play around with some of that stuff, but end this crap with the champions going back and forth, in my opinion. I don't know. What do you guys think of that, Brian?
Well, I think
we mentioned that on the podcast. Was it yesterday when we were talking about that?
Saturday we did EPW Connects, doing some good ratings on that. Make sure you check it out on YouTube.
Yeah, I mentioned that the other day. I said they should just have one world champion, one tag team champion, one women's champion, and like you said, they can have the Intercontinental. They can just have that exclusive to SmackDown and one exclusive to Raw, and then you can have those champions just go on both shows, because that creates up more storylines and it gives better opportunities for other people. I feel like. I mean, yeah, if you're the main champion, you probably you'll probably be working a lot more. That's understandable too. But it's just like it makes everything a lot better to me.
Yeah, everything that I've read about the women's tag titles is that they are going to be a floating championship where whoever the title holders will be able to go across the different brands, which is a step in the right direction. Because I'm with you, man. There are too many titles just all over the place, and it starts to dilute things. You mentioned Io Shirai and Kairi Sane, and I'm with you, but I don't think you even need to bring them out of NXT. I would include NXT that. The women's division in that is part of a brand that is connected with these tag titles. That way you can kind of bring them in periodically, give them a little shine on SmackDown, a little shine on Raw if need be, but just incorporate some of those, the women down in NXT as well.
I like it. And for my other notes real quick in on this, Tower of Doom spot. I wrote this in the very beginning. I hate Tower of Doom spots in 2019. It's so played out in my mind, and I just hate the setup of them. Like, dude, I don't know. It's just stupid in my opinion. I'm just so tired of them. I know it's a spot to get everybody a rest and everybody's laying down, and then you get I'm just so tired of that spot. I'm like, dude, do something else. Do a double knockdown. Do something different with it. That made me angry in this match. Like I said, sloppy in the beginning, but then around the time with Nia Jax going through the pod, like this match started picking up steam. And I absolutely loved it. And I love Sasha Banks using the modified bank statement with the shoulder being hurt. And she raps. Yeah. It just reminded me of NXT. Like that's something she would have did in NXT. And I absolutely loved it. It was perfect to me.
I love the finish. I'm with you. The finish of the match was really, really strong. I love, the modification she did with the bank statement was dope. It actually reminded me of Asuka tapping out Becky at Royal Rumble, where she had her in the Asuka lock, but then had to modify into a different submission to really force that tap out. And this was similar to me in that same regard. I'm glad. It was predictable. Malik, you mentioned it. Everybody kind of expected that. Sasha and Bayley would win this, and I think sometimes a predictable outcome it is the best one. And if you're gonna do, I think it's a great way to get these titles out there by putting them on two women that that the fans love, and two super talented individuals, at that. So but they're off to a good start, but the follow up is key. You know, is the creative department, is Vince, is he really going to give this division the time and attention that it needs to really not only, you know, build up the champions, but, you know, build up some credible contenders for these titles? Because that's the follow-up is everything. You know, the execution to start, the match was dope. Where are we going to go from here?
Yeah, and I think you have to have these titles defended at WrestleMania. I think you have to. You can't have those girls in the Battle Royal on the pre-show.
Or the kickoff show. Yeah,
you
absolutely.
Have to have them defend the titles at WrestleMania, even if the match isn't a long whatever, because WrestleMania is like fucking 7 hours now. Even if the match isn't a long match, you still have to have it at WrestleMania. I mean, there's plenty of tag teams that they could face. Mandy, Rose, Sonya, Deville. I'd be fine with that. Whatever. The Iconics, I'd be all right with that. Riott Squad, whatever. They're tag team they can make happen. So they have to be defended at WrestleMania for me. I would be very, very upset if they didn't have these defended at WrestleMania.
You know what, though? I definitely see Lita and Trish challenging them for the belts. I think that's the best possible match that you can book.
Hey, I would be down for that. I'd be all right for that, too.
Yeah.
I'd be okay with that.
A nice passing of the torch, and Lita and Trish don't have to work as hard at this point. That's how I would set it up personally, though.
That's a match that you have to put on the main show, too. Like, you would have to put that on the main show.
I agree. And there's time. You just have to cut a little bit more time from some of your other matches. Everybody doesn't need 30 minutes.
I would be all right with that. Plus, I think people would be happy with that match. I mean, obviously we would know who would win, but I think, you know, it would be a cool dig for Sasha and Bayley, because I know they've talked about it. That would be, you know, a dream match. If they could have a dream tag team match, that would be the opponents right there. So I think it would be cool for them, and I think people would be behind that. I'd be all right with that.
Bryan,
I don't want to see that.
What, you don't want to see Lita and Trish?
No, I don't. And it's in all due respect to them. I mean, look, if they book that, fine, whatever. I get it's WrestleMania. I just want to see them build up some other current talents that they can put up against them.
A gauntlet, though, instead of the Battle Royal. Maybe you X out the Battle Royal this year and do a kind of a quick gauntlet style.
Nah, well, for the tag titles, for the women's tag titles. Now, when it comes to Mandy, I'm a purist. Like, I really don't like all these multi-man, multi-women matches on WrestleMania just to get everybody on. Like, if you're gonna have these titles defended, you know, I'd rather do the Lita Trish route and just have a one-on-one or, you know, that situation versus, you know, a gauntlet or anything like that. Because that just starts to dilute everything, you know.
No, I will say, you know how Vince gets with that stuff, though. Vince is going to make sure that everybody gets paid because, you know what? I'm going to talk about it in the next match. So before we get into it, does anybody have anything else they want to add to this women's tag title win? Great ceremony at the end, too, with them being presented the belt and them crying. You could tell it was an emotional moment for both women. I wish they would have let Bayley speak a little bit, too, instead of just Sasha. But overall, I gave it a grade B, and all my grades will be in the description box as well.
Yeah, I like that moment myself. And as someone, you know, who's followed both of these women, you know, through their NXT careers and onto the main roster, man, I came in front, dog. I got a little misty-eyed myself, you know.
Yeah, I was happy with the outcome. It was a really good match.
Yeah.
Happy for both. And hopefully, like I said, I just hope that, you know, they do the right things with these titles and not just make them feel like they're not important.
Absolutely.
I hear that. Let's move into the next match, guys. It was for the SmackDown Live Tag Team titles. The Miz and Shane McMahon, I guess they're McMiz or whatever they're calling themselves, are defending their titles versus the Usos. Now, we all know the rumors of Naomi and was it Jimmy Uso?
Yeah.
Got in trouble. Yeah. The ridiculousness of some of the reporting that I saw, and I'm not even going to mention the major news people who reported horrible things about it, like absolutely no journalism integrity, because who told you some of the stuff that I saw printed by some of the bigger news companies that they're going to be going to? I'll let you guys figure that out. But absolutely. What were you about to say, Malik?
I said I've seen it. I've seen all those.
You know what I'm talking about, though, right? Absolutely horrible reporting saying they're doing it to get fired. Who would square up with the police officer to get shot to get fired? I hope that's not stuff to see.
I saw that too, but that's like par for the course when it comes to mainstream news coverage of wrestling. You know what I mean? They always get it wrong.
Yeah, you know they just got that from some dirt sheet or something and then copy pasted, but whatever.
Oh yeah.
we get into this tag match, and I was actually pleasantly surprised with this match. First, I'm actually happy to hear that Maurice is pregnant because I like thick Maurice. I'm not gonna lie, boys. When Maurice was having the baby, she had the little extra meat on her. She was looking good, man. So good to hear that, and congratulations to the Miz. Miz is one of those people who he used to annoy me, but the Miz is such a hard worker that it's kind of hard not to respect the guy at this point, and I absolutely enjoy it. But and I like the fact that they chanted "You still got it" when they announced that they were having the baby to Miz, and he was like, "Yeah, I still got it."
He's like, "Yeah, I still do."
But gents, Bryan, let's start with you on this match. What did you think of this match? Give me your thoughts on this here.
Again, man, I'm gonna sound like a broken record with a lot of these matches, but I wasn't looking forward to this going in. Like, because I'm in my head, and I'm just so disillusioned with a lot of what they're doing on the main roster. I'm going into this match. I love the Usos, and I'm like, all right, here we go. The Usos are going to have to lose against this makeshift tag team of the Miz, who I do like, and Shane McMahon. And then when the Miz comes out with that announcement about the baby, him and Maurice, the first thing I wrote down was like, after that announcement, there's no way these guys are losing. And I went, right, and they did. And I was like, goddamn, okay. Did not see that coming. But leading into the finish, like, this match got me, man. I thought this was a fun match. I'm not a big Shane McMahon wrestling fan. I like Shane, as an on-screen character. I never look forward to his matches. But the one thing I will say, and all credit to him, is that he really does his best. This guy doesn't phone in anything. So I respect him for that and the bumps that that he took in this match. But I thought this was great. It didn't overstay its welcome. It had another surprising ending, of which I'm sure we'll get into later. Because I seriously did not, although I wanted the Usos to win, I just didn't see it happening. And I give credit to WWE because this was a very logically booked match and finish. The long time, 9 years they've been around the WWE, established tag team against the makeshift team. And guess what? The guys who've been doing this for damn near a decade, they won out. That makes sense to me. It's like, and it just makes sense. And I was so pleasantly surprised that they booked this the way that they did. No shenanigans. It was a clean finish. I really enjoyed this. I really did.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. I had no doubts. In my notes, I had that I actually loved the chemistry with Miz and Shane. I thought Shane actually wrestled a damn good match for once. Like, Shane actually hit those DDTs. He actually floated over and it didn't look bad. He had punches, but Shane's punches when he first came in were on point. I was like, whoa, what is this? I'm like, Shane O'Mac's doing his thing. Malik, what did you think of this match?
I was surprised by this match too. I wasn't looking forward to this match. For sure, I thought Shane and Miz were going to win. I'm like, all right, they're going to win, but whatever. But I was surprised, man. I mean, I knew that eventually I thought they would drop the titles at the next pay-per-view because I'm pretty sure they're going to have a match at WrestleMania at some point. Miz probably going to turn on Shane at some point and they're going to have a match at WrestleMania. But I thought they were going to do it in the next pay-per-view maybe. I was like, all right, well, they'll win tonight and then they'll drop it at the next pay-per-view to somebody. But it's surprising, man. Like I said, Shane taking those bumps still is crazy to me. I don't understand it. The man's like almost 50 years old. It's ridiculous. But for what the match was, man, it was really good. I was surprised by the ending. Like, I actually had to rewind it for a minute. Like, did he get that 3 count on am I tripping? Like, I had to rewind it for a second and go back to it. I was like, man, it was. I'm happy the Usos won. I'm interested to see, kind of where they go from here too, because they've been tag team champions a lot now, and it's kind of the tag team. The tag team title division on SmackDown has just been between New Day, Usos, and the Bar. So it's like I want to see what they do something new now. Like maybe throw Gallows and Anderson in there. Like they're still there. WWE. I don't know if you still know that, but they're still there. Sanity's still on the SmackDown too. So there's somebody new in there for a challenge for once. But I thought the match was really good though. It surprised me for what it was. It was really good. Like I said, Shane taking those bumps is still crazy to me. Like I don't understand this. Why he still does it at his age. I don't know. Maybe he does it for his dad still, but I don't know. But the match was really good.
Yeah, I think Shane does it for the high of the adrenaline rush, just like a bunch of other guys. I don't think he needs the money. I think he enjoys what he's doing when he's actually in there. And Shane's one of the boys, I feel like. Shane, you got to remember, this guy has had no formal wrestling training, and he's hitting perfect elbows. And I'm just like, man, this dude's really good. Like, imagine if he was trained when he was younger instead of being a referee or working in the company as an executive. But I'm sure his father didn't want him to do that. But Shane McMahon is still really good. Same with The Miz, and much respect to the Usos. Like I said, I don't care about your personal problems. I'm here to talk about your in-ring stuff, but absolutely love the finish. It surprised me. I knew something was up as soon as Miz couldn't get the pinfall as soon as he needed to. Like, he stood there with the trying to roll him over for too long, and that really got to me. But we got new SmackDown champs, and as I predicted on my preview with Bryan Mazik, I called the Usos winning this one. I just thought it made sense for the wedge that you're going to have to drive between Miz and Shane, and it looks like we're going that route for Mania, but we're going to have to wait a little bit longer to see who turns face and who turns heel, and that'll be my first question to you guys about this. Who do you want to see turn heel, and who do you want to see turn face? Bryan?
Well, I mean, yeah, to echo that point, you know, I mean, everybody's expecting the breakup to happen between these two, and I was actually pleasantly surprised that at the end of the match that they allowed this to breathe and they didn't feel the need to hot shot anything right at the end between them. You kind of saw them huddle up together and then walk out. I mean, of course, it was in that one scene towards the end of the show that kind of, you know, foreshadows some stuff. I mean, the logical thing for me, and I think I'd imagine you guys agree too, is that the Miz is the one who turns on Shane, even though he was the one that got pinned. Shane's got so much goodwill with the fans. It just seems, although it seems foolish, but the WWE is a lot of foolish things. It seems foolish to turn him heel when he's so over with the fans. I don't see the fans wanting to boo him. You know what I mean? And I mean, just in terms of casting, like, I mean, we all know how dope the Miz is as a heel. You know, so, I mean, align him back in his natural. But what he does best, and I think that'll be a good little feud ending the Mania.
Malik,
obviously, Miz is a really good heel. I would much rather see him heel, but you know, we've seen Shane McMahon's are really good at getting booed, man. So I mean, I feel like if they did the right thing, Shane could be. I mean, obviously Shane's a good heel. He's been a heel before, so he knows how to play the heel role. But at this point in his career, I think it makes more sense for Miz to turn heel because Miz is a really good baby face. Plus, I really hope that they put him in the WWE Championship picture later down the year, man. And, I really hope they do that. A couple years ago,
I agree.
A couple years ago when he first won the title, I didn't get it. I was like, why is he the champion? Like, nobody even, this guy is not even relevant, Maryland. He's the champion. Main event WrestleMania against John Cena, actually won the match too. So I was like, I just didn't understand it. But if you look back, that was 9-10 years ago. Looking at where he's at now, he's improved so much. He's great on the mic, great in the ring. He's great overall. He has the whole package to me, if you ask me. So I really hope, I would much rather see him if he became WWE champion this year. I would much rather see him as a heel. I think he would make a great heel champion. But if Shane turns heel, it wouldn't bother me. McMahon's, like I said, they're really good at being heels. It's kind of like what they do. They're better at being heels than baby faces anyway. But I think it makes more sense for Miz to turn heel.
And while we get into this, gentlemen, now at this point in the show, I just wanted to brag a little bit because sometimes I'm wrong on my previews with my predictions and stuff, but I'm 3 for 3. And I want to bring up something that I've noticed at this point. People are probably wondering, Buddy Murphy, that seemed like an easy pick. But why did I pick Sasha and Bayley and the Usos to win? Get ready. I know there's going to be some people mad getting ready to talk about me, but I'm about to bring up 3 letters that I haven't talked about with Bryan yet. And I want to talk about it.
I know what you're going to say, brother.
And this is the hashtag AEW effect that all of us in the wrestling community have been talking about. And this is exactly why you can't afford to have Sasha Banks and Bayley leave and go work with Cody and the Young Bucks and Jericho and everyone else in AEW. That con money's just as good as yours, Vince, and they need that creative stuff. And Vince is trying to pamper them with title reigns and I'm featuring you on Monday Night Raw, but he didn't care about you a year prior to this. And it just seems so funny. And the Usos contract are rumored to be coming up in April. and I find it quite funny now. Hey, you guys are the tag champs. Let's get in my office. Let's talk. Let's sign some 5-year deals, guys. You know, I love your dad, Big Rikishi. We can have him come out. You know, you guys want to dance together, and I just find it very weird. But I mean, do you guys believe into this AEW hype? Are you guys against AEW? I know some people, it's just a t-shirt company till they put on a card. I think it's real, bro. Vince is shook.
I think it's real. You're right. No, I love wrestling all around, so I love the AEW. I can't wait for it. I can't wait for Double or Nothing. I'm all behind it. I just like wrestling in general, man. I'm not against any companies getting anybody. I'm not mad, you know, if people leave this company and go to this company. I understand because wrestling's a business, so you got to do what's best for you as a wrestler. You got to do what's best for you. And WWE, not everybody's gonna get the top spot. Not everybody's gonna get the creative stuff that they want. Not everybody's gonna be used as they feel like they should be used. So that's why people are leaving. That's why they want to leave and go to AEW, because they know if they go to AEW, they know they'll have better opportunities over there. Like, all right, you know, I'm still gonna make good money and I have to work less, and I know that I'll be used the way I should be.
Brian, now the last time we talked, it was right before all this was announced, Brian, when we did our Wrestle Kingdom preview. I got to hear your thoughts a little bit on AEW before we continue with this Elimination Chamber card, just real quick.
I'm gonna echo a lot of what Malik said. Like, I'm a fan of professional wrestling. I don't have any allegiance to any companies, you know, because I guess I'm a whore in that regard. If you put out a good product, I'm gonna watch it. I don't give a fuck. Like, I'm not some WWE sycophant who just wants to watch WWE. When WWE sucks, I call it out. When they do good shit, I'll call that out. But I look at everything. MLW, New Japan, you know, I'm a fan of pro wrestling. So I'm ecstatic about AEW. I hope they do well. I think that they will do well. And I think it's good for the wrestlers. You know, I equate it to, you know, like any professional sports team, like the NBA. Like, I'm always going to be on the side of the worker versus the management or the owners. You know what I mean? So if AEW wants to come around and they've got, you know, nice bankroll courtesy of the cons, and they are willing to pay these guys, WWE or just anywhere, a good living wage comparable to WWE, it's like, yeah, it's good to have alternatives. I'm rooting for AEW, but at the same time, I'm not rooting for WWE to fail, because I know for a fact that WWE, in the way that their business is structured, they are not going to fail. And if they were, it wouldn't happen for many, 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 many years. In my job, I've been privy to a lot of WWE corporate events. I've been to their business partners summit that they hold every WrestleMania, the Saturday before WrestleMania. I've gone to, you know, 2 of those. And the first time I went, it just really did. It shed a light on me where it was like, you know, me complaining about an angle or a match. It's like, it honestly means fuck all to the bottom line of this company, because they are making money in so many different, they've got so many different revenue streams of income where it's like, yeah, okay, you didn't like the fact that we're pushing Roman, but guess what? You guys are still paying, you know, buying tickets and all this, that, and the other. And there is no, like, WWE is going to be just fine. They're going to be just fine. You know what I mean? So I am really looking forward to what AEW puts on. I tried to get tickets to Double or Nothing, but I was, you know, too late to secure mine. But I mean, yeah, I'm optimistic, you know, and, you know, I'm, of course, the whole thing about waiting to see, you know, what TV they get. I feel optimistic about that too. I don't think Jericho, and he's even said this, I don't think he would have signed with them if he didn't seriously think that there was going to be a TV deal, you know, forthcoming. And the fact that they haven't announced it yet, I think is smart, because every time they do one of these press conferences or rallies or whatever, they keep doling out information, which is smart. You don't want to just blow your wad on one big thing and just tell everybody everything, because then what else you have to say leading up to the launch of the television show. So I think what they're doing is smart. I'm excited. I like all the talent that they've signed, and I wish them the best. And I'll watch it, and I'm going to continue to watch WWE. You know, as painful as it is sometimes, at least we've got NXT and, you know, the Hunterverse is what I call it. You've got the McMahon-verse and the Hunterverse. And the Hunterverse is all right. NXT 205 Live and NXT UK are all good shows consistently. And then you've got SmackDown and Raw that have this moment. So, but yeah, I'm just a fan of wrestling.
Yeah, no, I agree with that. That's definitely
product.
And I'm a businessman, as you guys know. I have some business knowledge, but in my mind, there's one thing that I always use as a motto, and everything's negotiable. You don't have to be loyal to anybody or anything. And as long as I'm getting good pro wrestling, I'm going to be there. I'm going to be there still to review WWE. Now that AEW's here, that gives me another thing to review, though. And we still got Impact Wrestling trying to do some good things. Ring of Honor, New Japan. There's a bunch of stuff out there. So if you're sick and tired of something, go check something else out. You may like it. I didn't think I would ever like Lucha Underground. Fell in love with it after I watched it, and I really got into it. And it just depends on what you like and what you get into. And Cody, I heard you on Twitter talking about people to make video games. And as I said, if everything's negotiable, I may know a guy who's in here right now that can help you make a great video game. So, you come at him with the right checkbook or something. You never know. You never know. He may be able to point you in the right direction.
That would definitely be a cool opportunity. Yeah, trust me when I saw that thing that because Jericho, I think it was in that article that he did with Bryan. You guessed last week. Bryan interviewed him. He had mentioned the fact that he expects that there will be a game coming out. So whoever does it, I mean, yeah. I'm here. I would gladly lend my services. And
I saw him say No Mercy-esque, and that's my favorite wrestling game of all time. I love those games the most, the N64 ones. So
I got a copy of No Mercy right over here next to me. Still wrapped.
I like the old SmackDown vs. Raw. That's what I grew up on, man. I wish they would go back to that stuff, man. The old SmackDown vs. Raw 2007, man, I was on that nonstop. I played that game consistently.
That was the first game that I designed. I did design work on. That was my first.
Dude, that game, that was my favorite wrestling game of all time. I played that every day after school, man. Like, no joke, dude. I had that game on lock.
Gents, let me see here. Goober316 says, I love wrestling and hope AEW does well. Nothing wrong with another place for talent to get work. And No Mercy is my favorite too. Shout out to Goober, man. I greatly appreciate you. Live chat. Make sure you guys are in there talking. Talk with us. I'll come back in and read some of your stuff. But let's get back into this pay-per-view. And for me personally, guys, this is where the show, we were doing good. We were like, we were riding. And then this is where, and this is where the nosedive happens. We get to the fourth match, the IC title match, which was a handicap match. Bobby Lashley and Lio Rush defend the Intercontinental title versus Finn Balor. To me, this felt like the cool down portion of the show. All the fans are like, all right, I'm going to use the bathroom. I'm going to get a t-shirt. I don't really want to yell. Let me check on my phone and everything else. Malik, what do you got for this match real quick, man?
I'm with you. But I'm surprised Finn Balor won, though. I didn't have him winning. I thought Bobby Lashley was going to win and retain. Same. So I'm surprised they gave it to Finn. I'm happy they gave it to Finn. But now that they gave it to Finn, this tells me that they're probably going to do some multi-man ladder match at WrestleMania for the Intercontinental Championship. But the match was it is what it was. I'm actually I really hope they don't split up Lio Rush and Bobby Lashley. I actually like them together, though. I think that Lio Rush is actually really entertaining, I think. And it's Bobby Lashley, he's not really good at promos anyway, though. So, I mean, I think putting Lio Rush with him just makes a lot more sense than not having him with nobody.
Yeah, I got people in the live chat already commenting about this, too. Who was it? Austin Stroop said, love that Balor won. He deserves it and can do good with the Intercontinental title. And Goober says that he's happy to see Finn win, but he did not care for the match. And that's exactly how I felt, too. Good for Finn, but I thought they could have made this a bigger moment, and I thought they would have held off for that. But apparently it looks like Lashley has already turned on Lio Rush at the end, but whatever. Brian, what did you think of this?
Well, I liked it more than you. I'll start off with that. So what was your biggest hang up about this, Conrad? Just the match quality itself, or the fact that it was really kind of pissed you off about this?
We're going to go back to 07 since you guys were talking about Bobby Lashley and all that stuff. I've never liked Bobby Lashley. I'm going to be 100% honest. I know everybody.
Yeah, I'm different, man. I used to he was one of my favorites back in the day.
I know some people loved him and they called him Black Lesnar, Chalk Lesnar, whatever jokes you want to make about the dude.
Chalk Lesnar.
Yeah.
I never heard that one.
That was from Biggie Langston. Please don't get him in trouble. It's Black History Month. But the whole okay, he's Chalk Lesnar, whatever. But Bobby Lashley he's missing something to be the man, and I never liked how he was presented in WWE. It felt like he was just, we lost Brock, but we got this guy now, so check him out. Look at him. He's big, he's muscly, he can toss people around. And Vince was like forcing him on you, from the Umaga match to putting the ECW title on him when everyone felt it was RVD, Punk's time, not Big Show and Bobby Lashley. Like, there's just a bad stigma with him. And
I agree. I agree with everything you said thus far, yeah.
But when it comes to this match, I feel like Lio Rush outshines Bobby Lashley, in my opinion. I think I would rather see a match with Finn Balor and Lio Rush one-on-one and not the garbage that they're having him do. Like the part in the match where he grabbed him by his leg and he's sitting there hopping. And I'm like, dude, I've seen you on 205 Live. Do some crazy stuff right now. Like, do some crazy shit. I know you can do it. And he didn't. He just stood there like hopping, like, because he's a manager. So I get it. He's Bobby the Brain Heenan. Bobby Heenan could really wrestle, but he had to wrestle like a manager. So he's sitting there like, no. And he just didn't do anything. So the match for me just felt kind of like, dude, come on, don't do this stupidity. And then they made Lashley still look strong by having Leo eat the pinfall, and Lashley turned on him. So what was the point of putting these two together for that short period of time? Did this really elevate Bobby and now you have enough confidence in him? I don't know. I didn't see it for me. I'm happy Finn won. Finn deserves it, and I absolutely would have agreed, put the Intercontinental title on him. But was this...
Yeah, I'm the same way. Like, I'm not saying he needs Lio Rush, but ever since Lio Rush got with him, I feel like he's just been a lot better in that stick, because he's not really good on the mic. Kind of like Lesnar. His voice sounds weird for how he looks. You know what I'm saying? Like, he's a big guy, but it isn't like his voice doesn't fit his body. It doesn't like fit like what he looks like. When you hear him talk, kind of like that's what he sounds like. Like, I don't know. It's just weird for me, but I like Bobby Lashley a lot more back 2006, 2007. I thought he was a lot better back then, and then he left and did his own little thing, you know, in MMA and TNA and stuff like that. And I kind of stopped following him for a while. But when he came back, I was actually happy when he came back. I was like, damn, Bobby Lashley's back. That's cool. But this is kind of like, ever since he's been back, it just hasn't felt like. I don't know. I just feel like he was a lot better back then. Maybe I'm the only one who thinks that, but I just feel like he was just better back in like 2007 than he is now.
I preferred Lashley, honestly, in Impact. Like, I thought Bobby Lashley was better when he was over there as the champion. He was one of the few brighter points if I went over there to watch him, Eddie Edwards, Drew McIntyre, and a couple. I can't believe I'm talking about Impact Wrestling right now on this, but I thought those were some of the brighter points. Look what Bryan's got me doing, but
yeah. No, I agree. My thoughts, like, I was never. I'm either up or down about Lashley. His original run in WWE, I thought, you know, it left a lot to be desired for me. You know, when he was in ECW, and I think it's, a lot of it had to do with the fact that he was booked and put in a situation that he just wasn't ready for at that time, because he was still relatively, you know, green at the whole wrestling thing. When he left and he went to Impact, you know, again, for the second stint, because he was there for one stint, didn't last very long, then he came back like a year later, whatever. And I thought he was a revelation. That's probably the best version of Lashley that I've seen. And when he signed with WWE, what was it, a year ago now? Yeah. I was excited because I was like, okay, you know, let's see what he does now. I mean, just based off his work that he did with Impact, and just the way that they booked him since his return. Especially at the start, it was just meandering. They didn't really have him focused on any particular program. They didn't. It's like they signed him, put him on TV without any kind of planned direction for his character. And I like that they put him with Leo. I like the pairing now, but again, they have to course correct, because when they first got together, it was some, I don't know, man. That shit was uncomfortable. Having him bend his ass over and he's posing, like, doing all this stuff. I'm like, what is this? You know, I don't want to.
It reminded me, dude, all that pose off stuff reminded me like the whole Scott Snyder and Triple H pose down when they had that little pose down like a couple years ago. I was like, what is this shit they're doing? What is he posing for? Like, we know he's big, we know he's strong, but like, what is he posing for? Like, I don't understand that either. But I want to like the way they booked Bobby. And one thing I don't understand either is that when they first brought him back, they put him with Roman Reigns. They had him beat Roman Reigns, and then they did nothing after that. Like, he just went nowhere after that. I didn't understand it at all.
Yeah,
well, because it was all about Roman at that time, you know. And
you know
what? I thought the same thing. Like, why give Lashley that win? Because we're gonna remember that. Like the way you're pushing Roman, if you're gonna have Lashley beat him, as fans, we're not gonna forget that. He beat the guy. And then where did that take him? It was like Sami Zayn. Was Sami Zayn next? You know what I mean? It was
nowhere. I was like, I was there, I was there in the crowd at Raw when they had that #1 contenders match. And I was like, all right, what's going to be a triple threat? It's going to be Lesnar, Lashley, and Reigns. That's fine because they obviously want Reigns in that match. And then he beat him. I was like, what was the point of him even beating him at Extreme Rules? You should just have Roman just beat him if that was the plan all along. Like, what was it made no sense to me. And then they went absolutely nowhere with him after that. Like, he was just like, if you listen to his reactions, he gets no reaction when his music hits. It's like the crowd's just like this. All right,
yeah, no, I agree. I mean, I don't get excited about him.
Yeah, I don't either. It's just like.
But I actually guess I'm not gonna say I enjoyed this match because honestly, like this felt like how long was this? Like 6 minutes, 5 minutes? This is like went down like a hiccup. The only thing that it was pretty quick. Like when the first note that I wrote down when this match started, and because Leo came out first, and again, I'm a big fan of Leo Rush. I been following him since his time on the Independence, and I was like, oh, this is cool. He's got this big marquee match on this big, main, this Elimination Chamber pay-per-view event. And I was like, he's going to get a chance to show a bigger audience what he can do. But he didn't get that chance. Conrad, you alluded to it. Like they had him working a completely different style than what you normally see him do elsewhere. And I wasn't a fan of that. The finish, I was not expecting that either. This was just a weird match. I mean, the whole handicap 2-on-1 for the title was weird. I kind of feel it would have gone down better had it just been that handicap, and if Finn wins, maybe he earns a shot at Lashley's IC title. Because for him to win in this manner, although I'm happy he got it, it's like it was a little underwhelming because he beat Leo. In all respects to Leo, but he didn't beat the champion. So, which leads me to believe that this program is going to continue. I mean, it kind of has to. I feel. I don't know. Like that's where I'm at with it.
And before I end it real quick, to go back to the Leo Rush and what we were talking about being disappointed, maybe it's because I have seen his work elsewhere that's why I was disappointed with what he did in this match. And I honestly thought after the fact that Finn won, I thought Leo was going to grab the microphone and say, hold up, player. You didn't read the contract right. You had to pen Lashley to win the Intercontinental. I thought they were going to pull some like switcheroo stuff like that real quick, and they didn't. They gave Finn the belt, and maybe there's still time for them to do that tomorrow, and that's how Lashley and Leo make up. And that way, now Leo's kind of scared, like, oh, Bobby will beat me up if I don't do the right thing, so I better keep it together and not make any big mistakes again. I gave it a grade of a C-, which isn't, like I said, the grading scale's in there, and it's not bad. It's acceptable. Whatever, it's fine, but I just wasn't. I expected more.
Yeah, no, I get you for a title match. Yeah, I expected more too. Like I said, this never got out of first gear. It seemed like this was a weird one. But the one thing I will say, and again, I criticize the main roster shows a lot, but I appreciate that thus far we've had a steady stream of clean finishes, and I appreciate that. Like going in, I just assumed there were going to be some shenanigans because of the stipulation. So it was. It's weird that it's shocking that you watch a wrestling match and you're just in awe that, oh my God, he won clean. but that's usually that's WWE, that's their booking. So I give them props for giving it a clean win at least.
Let's get into the next segment here. We had Charlotte Flair come out. Hashtag boo the woo. And she came out, Charlotte looking a little bit different. I think she got the mole gone. My wife, it's so weird, the stuff that other people when you're watching wrestling notice. She was like, did she get lip injections? Because her lips are looking a little weird. And I was just like, I don't know. I don't care. I'm like, I'm here to hear what she's going to talk about. And she comes out, basically talks her stuff about WrestleMania. I'm not going to get too deep into it. And she's going to watch this match from ringside because it's got the Raw Women's Champion in it. Ruby Riott comes out, another person who I hated the Riott Squad when they first came on the Raw, and I have grown to love them. Like, they are something that I appreciate. I don't know if it's the Liv Morgan, but I love Ruby's wrestling skills. And if you know Sarah Logan from before she was in WWE, you know that she can go. And Ronda
Crazy
Rousey.
Mary.
Say it again.
Crazy Mary Dobson, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
And she's an absolute great talent. And after you're done listening to this review, type in Crazy Mary Dobson and have some fun on YouTube for a little bit. But Ronda Rousey comes out, and she came out dressed like, and I know you guys are video game fans, Sonya Blade. Well, what is this? What is this? I'm like, next thing you know, I don't know. It felt awkward and weird that she came out. Maybe it's because she was doing promotion for Mortal Kombat. I could get past it. Whatever.
It was that promotion stuff.
Yeah, well, I love Sonya Blade too from Mortal Kombat. One of my favorite characters to pick, but it just felt weird. Like, it announced that it's a promotion. I don't remember the announcers mentioning it.
They did.
They did?
I mean, they said something about it. They said she's dressed like Michael Cole said that what she was dressed like and stuff like that. But
did they mention the Mortal Kombat part though? Like, she's gonna be in the new Mortal Kombat?
Yeah, they did. Said that.
Okay.
Yeah, well, she did the line. She's doing the voiceover for Sonya Blade, the new MK11.
I'm not mad at it, but I have this match grade as, and I hate doing this, but I put dud. It happened so fast. Like, dude, Ruby Riott's so good, and you didn't.
This is like an incomplete. This is an incomplete. Like, if you were in grade school, it's like there wasn't enough here to even grade. This is just incomplete.
Dude, I just write dud for it. Malik, what do you got for this match, man?
Same, man. I mean, the match was so fast. Obviously, you knew Ruby wasn't gonna win. We all knew she wasn't going to win, but it's just like, you know, I thought they were going to have a match at least. But I was like, damn, 5-minute match. Ruby just got squashed. But, I mean, I get it. You know, you got to make Ronda look good for WrestleMania, whatever. I understand it. But this is like, it's just disappointing to see, you know, people that you actually like and have good potential. And then they just they just get fed to the wolves. You know what I mean? They just have to go out there and just be a jobber like that, man. It's disappointing.
Yeah, Ruby must have a long-term contract because they're not too worried about her going anywhere right now for that. But I still think her time will come. I think her time's still going to come. It's just not right now. But I think, Bryan, I'll let you say your piece on it before we get into the aftermatch because that's where the real story is.
Yeah. So, the little bit that I have to say about the match is going to perfectly segue into the meat of this whole freaking thing. I put on my notes, wow, poor Ruby. What was the point? Because the whole they sacrificed her for nothing. They could have easily done this whole segment between Charlotte and Ronda without even booking this match. Like, if they wanted to have it, you know, promote an in-ring confrontation between Charlotte and Ronda and then have Becky come out, they could have gotten to exactly where they wanted to go without sacrificing another you know, female talent, another extremely talented wrestler in their women's division. And I saw this, and I don't even know if it went 5 minutes. I mean, this was, incomplete in terms of a match. And I really felt for Ruby. And I know, hey, look, I mean, she's fine as I mean, it's a job, right? I mean, she went out there, she did her thing, but whatever little bit of equity she had in her character is now completely gone, you know. And I see a lot in Ruby, and yeah, it was just, it was needless for me, and because they could, like I said, they could have easily got to where they wanted to go without having that match at all. So I was just left scratching my head, and I'll let you go on with the actual point of this whole thing.
So we're gonna get right into it, and real quick to get back on the Sonya Blade thing, because I saw a lot of people in the chat saying I thought it was awesome, it was cool. My problem with Ronda is this: Ronda doesn't have something that belongs to her, is basically what I'm trying to say with it. It's not that I think, oh, Ronda sucks because she came out as Sonya Blade. I just want Ronda to be herself, and I feel like I'm seeing Rowdy Piper, Sonya Blade. Who the hell is Ronda Rousey? Like, tell me, who are you? Like, show me who you are as a WWE superstar, and I haven't seen that yet. But let's get into the meat and potatoes of all this. The real story is when Becky Lynch ends up coming out after the match. She gets out there, and she winds up coming out with a crutch, and she's offering it to, who was it? Ronda Rousey. She beats Charlotte down, offers Rousey a crutch and says, listen, do your will. Go ahead, have at her. The moment Ronda turns her back, Becky goes to attack her. Perfectly done. And she is getting over. And Becky was swinging that crutch like crazy. I don't know if you guys noticed. I definitely heard Charlotte yell, OF, like 3 times. Her elbow got caught. Did you guys? I pay attention to the little things. I'm like, yo, she got hurt. That hurt real bad. Her elbow was like purple. If you guys like go back and watch it. Also, Ronda gets hit in the head and she's bleeding, but she's a UFC fighter, so she took it like a champ. Like, I don't care. But this segment did a really good job. And did they put Becky Lynch in cuffs, or was she holding her hands back like that?
Yeah, I was wondering the same thing, because if they did, they didn't show it. But it definitely looked like she was walking out in cuffs.
What'd you say, Malik?
I think they just made her put her hands behind her back, and they just kind of like restrained her or something. I don't think she had cuffs on. I mean, maybe she did though.
It's like, damn, dude, you couldn't afford some zip ties? Like, I don't know. Just step it up, WWE, if you missed that part, or maybe someone botched it, but whatever. Quick thoughts on that segment, guys.
Well, for me, go ahead.
I'll let you go first. Go ahead.
I mean, for me, like this whole, Becky Lynch, Ronda Rousey, Charlotte thing. I mean, I don't know where you guys fall on this. For me, this is just a case of WWE overcomplicating what should be a simple story between Ronda and Becky. And they're just going all over the place with this thing. Taken in a vacuum, I thought this was fine. We got to see Becky. We got to see her, wild out and beat the shit out of both of them with that crutch. But it just, I'm on the camp of a straight up one-on-one match between Becky and Ronda. I believe, in my heart of hearts, I do believe that's the match we're going to get, and that this addition of Charlotte is just like something that, Vince is doing to troll us wrestling fans, and I think she's probably going to get taken out of it at some point. But yeah, I just think, they had just a perfectly compelling and in-depth story between these two women right there in the silver platter, and they're just kind of they're getting in their own way with all these unnecessary roadblocks and everything. But was it entertaining? Sure, it was. But I don't know. That's pretty much all I got to say on it.
Malik.
I thought it was a good segment. It was entertaining. She definitely landed those crutch shots really hard, man. It was very hard, but I'm on the opposite of it, though. I think it's going to be a triple threat. I don't think Vince sees Ronda and Becky. I don't think he sees that as a big marquee match more than the triple threat match. I think he wants Charlotte in this match. I think he feels like it makes the match a lot better, and from his perspective, I would much rather see Ronda and Becky 1-on-1, but I'm okay with the triple threat. The triple threat doesn't bother me. It's fine because I don't think Becky loses either match either way, so it doesn't really matter. But I think if they're gonna actually main event WrestleMania, I don't think they're gonna have that main event without Charlotte in it.
Yeah, I don't know, Brian. Me and Malik did a show this past week. It was my first episode. I'm trying to do like kind of live streams on the weekends, and we did something called EPW Connects, and I'm trying to get fans from all over the place. We'll come in and I'll bring in like 4 to 6 questions, and we'll just talk about them kind of and go round robin, round table style. And we talked about that. I'm sorry?
I saw you promoting that, yeah.
Yeah. And we have a little breakdown of this one. And this is the highest viewed one, Malik, since I separated all of them. Like I told you, I was going to separate them into parts. And yeah. I still think what I said reigns true about this match, which is you have each person that has a role in this match makes sense. Do I want to see Ronda versus Becky? Yes. Do I think they could carry it? 100%. Do I believe that the office in WWE thinks they can carry it? I think they have some questions about it. And like I said, with this kind of match and all the promotion behind the women, you cannot afford to have a bad wrestling match and a bad hyped wrestling match at this point. I basically said you need the Hulk Hogan, Andre the Giant, and you need the Macho Man Ricky Steamboat match from this, because you cannot have these women look bad, or it's going to look bad on your company. So adding Charlotte into here, Charlotte's going to bring the wrestling skill out, Brian, is what I said. Becky is going to handle the promo work. Becky, her snaps, her disses, whatever you want to call it, straight fire. Becky's going to handle the promo work. And Rousey is the reason that this is main eventing, because of her UFC stardom and the stardom that shines from her as an entertainer. And I think all of that is going to make this come head to head. And I know some fans don't like that, but I'm cool with it. As long as the right outcome still happens at Mania, I think Becky's moment has to happen and she needs to win this. I mean, you got to stack the odds against her 100%. And you got to tell a great story, but I'm okay with it either way it goes. That's just how I personally feel.
Like I said, I think
Conrad, you are my friend and my intellectual peer. I strongly disagree with what you just said. Becky is an exceptional in-ring talent. Exceptional. She's better than Charlotte, in my opinion. The idea or the thought that you need to have Charlotte in there to increase the quality of the match, I couldn't disagree more. I couldn't disagree more. And I think that this match between the two of them, I mean, come on, they're obviously, whether it's a one-on-one or triple threat, I think. So for me, the match quality is not even in question. If Charlotte stays in the match, yes, this will be a good match, but it'll be a good match even if she's not in this. Because for a lot of reasons. One, the talent involved, and two, they're going to workshop the hell out of this prior to WrestleMania, like they do with a lot of Ronda's major matches. So, yeah, I don't agree with that. But
well, here's my point.
But it's an interesting take.
I'm going to counterpoint this real quick. It's basically, in my opinion, it's more so about Ronda's lack of being able to put on the good match. Like there's just certain points in some of the matches. I think when she crumbled in the ring, they lost a lot for her. Like, what's going to happen if she's getting booed in the middle of Mania? She's going to, ha, 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 funny guys, you got me. Ha, ha. I'm like, dude, don't ever do that again. Like, when there's a right way to do it, that's the wrong way, and Roman Reigns did it the right way. When he was getting booed and they wouldn't let him talk, it's my yard now. Mic drop, walked away. I'm like, bro, that's how you do it. 100%. Perfect. That's a good Roman Reigns.
I think, I just feel like, putting Charlotte in this match, I don't want to say it makes it better, but it gives the thoughts and the buzz around the wrestling fans a lot more because of her last name, people will be like, all right, well, we want Becky to win, but now they got Charlotte in this match. WWE might not give Becky her moment. You know what I mean? They might give it to Charlotte, and Ronda's legit too, so they'd be like, oh, they might give it to Ronda too, so you never know. But I like the idea of the triple threat. The only problem I have with the triple threat is that it leaves Asuka out of the equation, and then you just have nobody for her to fight in WrestleMania. You know what I mean? So that's the only problem I have with it. But I like the triple threat idea. I have no problem with it. If they don't have Charlotte in it, doesn't bother me. If they have her in it, I'm happy either way. I just, for me, I just believe this is going to main event WrestleMania. There's no way they don't have Charlotte in it. I don't believe that.
Brian, we're going to agree to disagree for right now to move forward. We're going to talk about this though, and we
definitely will. We will.
I'm saying this. I'm cool with the one-on-one match. I personally think it's going to be fine if I was in charge making the decisions, but I'm trying to rationalize these decisions for the fans so that way they understand, like, this is why I think it's happening or what's going on. We both may think Becky's a superior wrestler. I don't think the office thinks that, though. I think they're like, no, Charlotte's the girl. Charlotte needs to do the moonsaults off of it because she's been given everything. But
right.
I'm going to leave it there because me and Brian can debate this, and I'm going to have him on before WrestleMania, and we'll go at it with each other about this again. But we'll table it. All right, so let's get into this next match. Baron Corbin versus Braun Strowman. Dear WWE, whoever writes it creative, you guys work so hard. I get it. Bro, do not do this match anymore. I am sick to death. I was in a chat talking to my buddy Kevin during this match, and we compared this to like the corporation, and we were calling Baron Corbin the big boss man. We were like, oh, he's like the big boss man. He rolls around on the outside. Nobody likes him. It's just that bad. And we couldn't figure out who to call Braun. In my notes, it says shit match. I'm not sponsored on YouTube yet. It says shit match. Then it picked up a little bit with Lashley comes out, McIntyre. What is this? And where's Kurt Angle to help Braun? Where's all the good guys? You just stood there and watched Braun get beat down.
He couldn't make the run to the ring this time. He was back there icing.
Yeah, they did like a Shield power bomb OMG moment. Grade C-. I'm done with this. Malik, go ahead. It's yours.
There was a point where I used to really like Baron Corbin. I'm not gonna lie. I was really high on him in NXT. When he came to the main roster, I really liked him. But ever since he lost that Money in the Bank,
clap it up. Hold on. That deserves a clap.
Ever since he lost that Money in the Bank, man, I don't care for him. I'm tired of him, actually. Every time he's on my TV, I'm like, Corbin's on my TV now. Like, this is great. Like, I've lost so much value and interest in him, and it's so sad, man. And Braun he's just in a bad spot right now. Like, it's just, I don't know what. they don't know what to do with him at this point. They don't know where they want to put him at. They don't know who they want to put him with. So he's just in a bad. I just feel bad for him because he's just in a bad spot. And then McIntyre is the same way. He's just in a bad spot. I don't know why they keep having him do what they're doing right now. Lashley, I just don't know, man. Like I don't even know what this even is. Like this is even a group. Like what is this thing? Like I don't get it. Like it's just like. I honestly feel like they're gonna do some dumb shit where they're gonna have Braun fight all three of them at WrestleMania in a handicap match. Like I really think that they're gonna do some shit like that because that's some shit they would do. And I'm just like, why? Like, what is the whole point of this? It's just like, I don't understand it. I don't know where this goes from here. I if anything, I would be alright if they did Strowman and McIntyre at WrestleMania. Like there's a feud between them, but like, you need to exclude Corbin and Lashley out of this. I don't know where they're doing with this. I just don't get it. The match was terrible. It was god awful, and the way that match ended, I kind of feel like they're gonna have another match in Fastlane.
Yeah, listen, they had a cool what did I have? Shield Powerbomb OMG moment. Brian knows what I'm talking about with that. Cool ending. It looked all right. It was better than I thought. They showed Lashley's powerhouse, but before I turn it over to Brian for his thoughts on this, I will say one thing for myself, and then I'll talk with the live chat. Baron Corbin has gotten better on the microphone. I think he feels more comfortable at this point. I just don't like the look of him on Monday Night Raw. I don't know. I think they missed out on the look that he had previously, and I don't know. But Drew McIntyre is also someone who they need to protect because I see him as a main eventer, and I thought he shined in this, actually. He looked like he knew what he was doing the most. He was in the right spot at the right time, telling people what to do. Drew actually did a good job. But we have Lol Yeaman in there, and he says, why is this happening to Strowman? He lost because of those 3 dumps. Becky unfortunately can't stand, but I agree with you. Wonder who's going to challenge Asuka at Mania. Who knows? They went off on something else. And where were the faces, Goober said. Same thing I said. Baby faces just don't do the right thing anymore, I guess. Brian, your thoughts?
Yeah, this was the worst thing on the show for me. And honestly, like I like all the talent involved. I like Baron Corbin. I don't like how he's been booked creatively for the past several months on Raw. But again, that's as a performer, I think he does what he's instructed to do, and he does his best with it. And Strowman and all these guys, I like all these guys that were involved in this. The thing that really gets my goat about this match, like this match to me was like a microcosm of not all of, but a lot of the things with WWE creative that just really, really irks me. The fact that you're going to book a no DQ match and this failed logic where because there's no DQ, it means that even motherfuckers who are not booked for the match can come in and just dick around with everything. And not only that, but you have one of the guys who's not booked for the match, Drew McIntyre, interfering, and his music is heavy. Why? Who in the back is playing the music for the guy who wasn't even booked for this match? And for me, in WWE, they've been doing this, I mean, since I've been, watching their product, and it's such an easy thing to button up. Yes, the stipulation is no DQ. It's no DQ for the 2 guys or men or whoever that are booked for the damn match. It doesn't mean it's a free-for-all for everybody in the back to get their asses involved. And this is one of those things that it's just the lack of attention to detail. It just drives me crazy. And like this, at least, I don't know, I'm pretty discerning with my critiques and like the shit that this is just the stuff that WWE does that I can't stand because I'm not an idiot. And I watch stuff like this and it's like they think that I'm dumb. It's like, you guys, this is just terrible, terrible booking. All around. If you wanted to have all these guys get involved, why not just book a no DQ match and just set this up in a team type situation? I mean, obviously, yeah, they're not done with this based off the finish. That power bomb through the stacked tables, but how they got there, I thought was stupid, quite frankly. And I don't like to use that, but this was just stupid. And for me, this was when the show nosedived. And thankfully, the main event saved it. But I really detested this and everything about it. I thought it was. I hate watching WWE's product and just being made to feel like a moron for watching their product.
I I gave it a grade of a C-, only because of the spot at the end, and I felt that Drew came out and kind of saved it by telling people where to go. Because I swear to you, it was Mongo Bill Goldberg Starrcade level bad. And if you guys have seen it, that's one of the few matches I've ever given like a D instead of an F. And I was just like, you know what? I'm going to give this a D+. I'm going to let it rock. I don't ever want to speak about it again. And that's how I feel about this match. Like, I'm just over the hump. And like I said, I pray that something good comes out of this for Drew and that they have a good match lined up, maybe for Kurt Angle, like we talked about on EPW Connects. But I'm going to give it a C-, and I'm going to move forward. What the hell was that Lacey Evans thing?
Dude, I was gonna say, please bring that up. I don't know.
I thought I missed something. Yeah, did something happen with that? Because I went to the bathroom and she was coming,
Dude,
I heard the music.
She literally came out, did her strut and pose, and then left. And that was it. I was like, what? What was the point of this? It was like, first of all, we haven't seen her since the Royal Rumble. So I was like, oh, where's she been at? I don't know where she even been at. Then she came out. I was like, oh, she might gonna come out, cut a little promo or something like that. She came out, stood on the stage, walked down the ramp, like halfway down the ramp, and then turned back around and walked back up. I was like, what is going on? I don't. And then it went to commercial. I was like, I don't understand the whole situation. I don't know what the fuck that was even about. It's like they just told her, hey, go out there, do your little thing, and then come back out.
That's some Emelina. That's some Emelina shit. That's what they were doing with her? Remember those couple times Emelina would come out, strut on the stage, and then just leave. I was like, oh, okay.
Shout out to Goober in the chat who just wrote, "Oh no, it's Mongo." When we were talking about this Lacey Evans part, because freaking terrible, dude. Bryan and Malik. Another real quick question, and then we'll get into the main event. I promise, guys. Then we'll end this. But is this the worst treatment of an NXT call-up class to the main roster, in your opinion? I think what they have done with these guys is absolutely terrible. 100%. Like, NXT is a gold mine, and I feel like Vince McMahon is pissing it all away. Like, all this talent that he has, he is just pissed away from Nakamura down. I don't know what he's doing at this point with these guys, and I think he has no idea what he's doing. Malik, what did you think real quick on that?
I'm just with you, man. Like, once people come up from NXT, I don't think he knows what to do with it. And I get when people come up from NXT, they're already stars in the main roster that have spots and everything, but you can still book them where they feel important to the show and they still do something. Like, EC3, I don't think they know what to do with him right now. Nikki Cross, they don't know what to do with her. Lacey Evans, they don't know what to do with some of those people, and it's just like, that's why people don't want to see superstars come up from NXT, because they fear, like, all right, when they come up from NXT, they're gonna be forgotten about. And look at Bobby Roode. Bobby Roode could easily be one of the top heels from Monday Night Raw right now. Could easily be one of their top heels right now. But yet, they put him in a tag team with Chad Gable. And he's just so forgotten about. It's just like, I feel so bad for the man.
I was going to say, don't talk bad about my boy Gable now. Everyone, Gable Mark. And I'm like, I don't care. Chad Gable's the man. I love him.
No, Chad Gable's the truth too, but it's just like, when you look at those two, you know that they're not really not going to do stuff with Chad Gable, but Bobby Roode has potential to be a main eventer, if you ask me. If you look at what he came from, look what he did with him in NXT. What he did with him in NXT was fantastic. Like, did Vince not see that? Did he not? Or he just like, I don't give a fuck
people
about
think
that.
I'm crazy. When I see Chad Gable, I see some Kurt Angle in them. That's just me. I see funny. I see talented. I see a lot of stuff with him. Bryan, let me hear what you think of this NXT class, man. What is this the worst?
Yeah, I was just going through, just kind of jotting down, like, NXT call-ups from the past that I don't think this was the worst. Just based off the fact that they haven't done anything yet. They basically ran some.
Real quick, let me clarify. When I say the worst, I mean worst treated. Like, they came up and what is this, dude?
Okay. Still, all right. Even with that, I wouldn't say that this class is the worst treated. I have one team circled, but I don't know. I think Sanity might be the Sanity or the Ascension, and this is even taking my whether I'm a fan of these teams or not. Because I mean, I like some of the talent in Sanity, Ascensions, whatever, but just when they debuted, like, they did nothing with these guys, absolutely nothing. Malik, you had mentioned before the situation that Anderson and Gallows is in. I mean, they didn't come up from NXT, but just how they're a complete afterthought. Like, what has Sanity done since they've been called up? they've appeared, I think, 3 times. So I mean, I think they're a big offender. The Ascension, obviously. I mean, yeah.
Ascension would have
at
to be
least
the
with
worst.
the,
Doing like Ascension
at
was
least
like, weren't they the longest reigning tag team champions in NXT
Yes.
for a while?
they were, yeah.
And they haven't done nothing since they've been in the main. They've been in the main roster for like 4
No.
years now. They haven't done nothing.
They've done fuck all. Excuse my language. I'm sorry, man. They haven't done anything. Yeah. So that's why I look at these recent guys, EC3s and Lacey Evans and Heavy Machinery. I kind of feel like that whole class is like incomplete at this point, but at least they were given some pretty cool kind of like video packages leading up to their soon-to-be debuts. To me, the thing that I find crazy about this recent class is this whole thing about they're just like wandering around backstage at both shows. I'm like, really? You can't even just settle on where you want these guys to be? Like, you can't do that even? They're just showing up. Like, at least get that buttoned up.
You would think they have like a plan already. That's the sad part. I'm like, dude, there is no transition plan. And I don't think that falls on Triple H. That's a Vince thing. Like, you got to have plans for these guys, and they just don't have a clue. And it's so frustrating for me to, like, I look at NXT UK and why invest in these guys if you're not going to do it? Now I don't want you to leave. I'm like, don't go.
Yeah.
That's why
I agree.
That's why Johnny Gargano said he wants to stay in it. He doesn't want to leave NXT because he knows when he comes up to the main roster, he knows what it's gonna be. He knows he's not gonna 205 live, maybe. He's not gonna be the talent that he is in NXT, and he knows that. But out of all these people, I do think Lacey Evans she will be used more than any of them. I don't think they're definitely gonna do anything with the War, whatever their tag team name was, that the Heavy Machinery. They're not gonna do anything with them. Nikki Cross, if they don't put her in Sanity, back with Sanity, they're not going to do anything with her either. And EC3, I kind of feel like EC3 will he'll be one of those people. I think he'll be like a Dolph Ziggler. Like they'll use him, and then they'll all right, it was time for you to go back down, and then they'll use him again, and then it's time for you to go back down. So I think he'll be kind of one of those Dolph Ziggler, Zack Ryder type people. But I think Lacey Evans will be. I think she has a lot of potential. I really do.
All right, guys, let's talk about this main event. It's the Elimination Chamber for the WWE title. That's right, folks. The WWE title main event of the show. Holy smokes. It's been so long since we've seen this that I couldn't believe it. But we had Daniel Bryan, Samoa Joe, Kofi Kingston, AJ Styles, Jeff Hardy, and Randy Orton. And that was also the order of entry for this one. Malik, what'd you think of this?
I thought the match was good. I don't think it was better than the first chamber match, but I thought it was booked pretty good. I knew it was going to come down to between Kofi and Daniel to get the crowd really into it because the crowd obviously was behind Kofi Kingston really, really hard in this match. When it came down to it, man, the ending was really good, man. I liked the Daniel Bryan promo in the beginning, coming out with the promo and everything. I like the whole background. They got the whole Earth background they got for him now and shit. I think it's pretty cool.
Hashtag Captain Planet.
Yeah.
Like I really like Daniel Bryan, man. The whole Daniel Bryan heel thing, I'm really behind it, man. His babyface run was good, but obviously when he came back from retirement, man, it was getting stale and he needed something new, man. What they're doing with him is really good. The whole WWE Championship the new championship is ugly as hell, but I mean it works for his character. So I mean, I like what they're doing with him. But I think the match was booked how it should have been. I was a little surprised that Joe got eliminated first. I was a little surprised by that. I was like, all right, and I was surprised that he started the match too. I was like, why do you have two heels start the match? Like, I didn't understand that either. I thought Joe would be one of those people that got into the pod and would come out later in the match and kind of put some destruction on. But the ending was the best part of the match, though, by far. It was really good. It got. I don't know about you guys, but my heart was beating kind of a little fast. I was like, oh my god, I don't. You kind of knew Daniel was gonna win, but there were spots in it where I thought Kofi might surprise us. So hopefully, the more people keep saying it, the more I'm kind of starting to get behind it. I really hope they're considering making a match between those two at WrestleMania. I don't know if Kofi will win. I don't know if he'll ever had the WWE Championship, but the two could have a great match, and I feel like that's something people would want to see. I don't know if Vince believes in that to be a WWE Championship match at WrestleMania, but that's something that you have to listen to the fans. You have to consider at this point. I mean, I know people really start getting behind Kofi really into that gauntlet match because Mustafa Ali was supposed to be in the match, but the way people are responding to Kofi and the way people are responding to Daniel, I feel like, plus, nobody wants to see AJ Styles and Daniel Bryan again. They've done that already. They've overdone that. I feel like for them to have another good babyface going there, I feel like Kofi Kingston could be the guy. So I hope they consider that being the match at WrestleMania.
Malik, I want to just mention this real quick before I even get into my little things and I kick it to Bryan. Dude, I like what you're thinking with that, and I don't know why it was mentioned to me. I don't know if it was my wife or whoever I was watching it with, but somebody said, hey, man, what if they did a match between these two at WrestleMania? Same thing you were just thinking. And they loved the way I booked it instantly off the top of my head. I said, rumors of Luke Harper coming back. You put Luke Harper, Daniel Bryan, Eric Rowan in a faction. They battle New Day at Fastlane. New Day will battle for Kofi Kingston to get a world title match, or WWE title match, excuse me, at WrestleMania if they get the victory. And you could even have it where that happens, Kofi gets the match, and that's how he gets put in. It would be kind of like a dope storyline. You could even tell another story I said with Bray Wyatt, that Bray Wyatt was once with all three of those guys in the Wyatt family, and you could tell a dope story there. There's so much you could do with this, and we don't know what's going to happen with Daniel Bryan going into Mania still at this point. I think it's kind of cool, kind of dope, cool. Bryan, let me kick it back to you.
Yeah, I really enjoyed this match. This was my my match of the night, like by far. And just even beyond that, like this was one of the better Elimination Chamber matches that I've seen.
In a while too.
And in a while, yeah. And yeah, I mean, yeah, we could talk about that finish. I mean, when it got down to Daniel and Kofi, this really kicked into a different gear. And credit to the booking of this match and the talent involved. Like you're not alone, Malik, that there were moments in this match where I legit thought, I was like, damn, are they really gonna pull the trigger on this? Is Kofi walking out of here with the WWE Championship? And the fact that they could bring me there through the story of of what they were telling the match is a testament to the booking and to the talent. So I applaud them for that. The only thing that kind of took me out of this match, and I'm curious to see if this happened to you guys, like I would say maybe about 3 or 4 minutes to the finish, when Bryan had Kofi locked in his, or he was trying to get him in the yes lock, and he grabbed the rope. Since when have there been rope breaks allowed in an Elimination Chamber?
Yeah, I don't like that. I didn't understand
like that.
Yeah,
that really threw me, because I thought once he grabbed it, I just assumed that Corey Graves, the announcer, was going to say there are no rope breaks in the Elimination Chamber. Maybe he would use the ropes to kind of help push off or kind of get Daniel Bryan off of him. But when the ref, broke it up, that it didn't ruin the match for me, but it definitely kind of took me out of it for a little bit. And I was like, that wasn't could have done without that spot, but but barring that, I thought this was really good. And I gotta say, I'm not a fan of the New Day gimmick. It's a little, too much shucking and jiving for me. But when Kofi is able to really show a different side, more serious side, I love that Kofi. Like we got some of that on last week's SmackDown when he was in that gauntlet, especially towards the end when he was like bowing up at AJ saying, "Come on, man, don't take no pity on me. Let's fight. Like that's the Kofi that I want to see more of. And we got to see a lot of that Kofi in this match, and that's the Kofi that I want to get behind. But yeah, beyond that, I really dug this. I thought all the guys got a moment to shine. And yeah, once it got down to the final two, like this was fun, man. This made the entire show for me. And I will say I give props to the Women's Elimination Chamber too. I think for the event titled Elimination Chamber, they succeeded in really giving us 2 solid chamber matches. And yeah, I really enjoyed this. And honestly, I hope that what the both of you were saying does come true, because I will be all on board with a Daniel Bryan, Kofi Kingston program leading into WrestleMania, because that's a fresh matchup. It's something that we haven't been beat over the head with multiple times, multiple years. So yeah, that'd be a good one. Whether he wins or loses, I mean, obviously I'd be rooting for Kofi to win, but yeah, I think you're right. There's a lot of ways you can go to get to that one-on-one match at WrestleMania.
Yeah, I have a lot of notes for this match. I just wanted to run through real quick. The Daniel Bryan promo I thought was well done. I love the exchange in the beginning with Samoa Joe and Daniel Bryan. It felt very ROH-esque, kind of the hits they were doing on each other. I mean, they had some kicks and stuff that they weren't selling, but those chops just brought me back to like Ring of Honor 0406 kind of era, and I loved it.
Yeah, same here.
What else did I have? Kofi is over. In big letters, I wrote that. I'm just like, this dude is over. You have to do something with this. You have to strike while the iron's hot. And I know WWE rarely does. They kind of like hold out, like, let me see if this is real. But you have to strike, I think, on this one. I like the dive off the chains on the Joe and Bryan. I got the elimination stuff. Jeff Hardy Swanton Bomb. I lost all my hair from watching that. I was like, whoa.
Yeah, that was a sick spot.
Yeah, I originally thought so. No, I didn't really know what the WWE title picture held for WrestleMania going into this. I was like, I don't know what they're gonna do for it. And I originally thought, they're not gonna do AJ and Bryan again. You can't do that. And you gotta obviously have somebody, that big baby face to face Daniel Bryan. So I thought it may be Jeff Hardy. So, they might do Jeff Hardy because Jeff Hardy was over at one point. People like Jeff Hardy. Nobody dislikes Jeff Hardy. So that's a match that people I think get behind. But with the whole Kofi Kingston thing, man, I'm with you, man. I actually thought Harper might come out in the match a little bit. I was like, man, he might actually come out in this match, and maybe they go somewhere for that. But I'm actually with you on that, man. I think Harper, wherever he is right now on this earth, I don't know where he's at right now. When they bring him back, I think he should be with Daniel Bryan. I think they should have those three because it makes sense. You have Daniel Bryan's got two people backing him up. Kofi Kingston got two people backing him up, and they can tell such a beautiful story with that, man. It's such a beautiful story. Kofi Kingston's been in WWE, I think, for 11 years, I think. And for him to come to this point, nobody ever thought he would ever be WWE champion. So if it ever happened, the story would be beautiful. It would just make such a good story.
Yeah,
I agree.
After that Swanton spot, we did get another Tower of Doom spot. I'm so sick of it.
But it was at least it was a well executed one. I mean, I feel you. I feel you about the Tower of Doom. I do. It is like an overused spot in multi-man matches, but. They at least it was a well done.
If I was Vince, it would just be banned for like temporary. Like, you want to ban words, ban that shit. All right, Vince. Yeah. Like, so sick of it. What'd you say, Malik?
The Tower of Doom.
Yeah. So what do we have? We had Randy Orton. I like the Trouble in Paradise. I think Orton and Styles. This is going to lead to a Mania match between them. I think we'll see more of this story told on SmackDown as the lead up goes. Trouble in Paradise on Orton made me feel so good. And I wanted to bring this up because probably as long as I've been like talking or knowing about Bryan, I remember when Kofi first came in and he was getting that push, and I loved that Madison Square Garden boom drop. I'll never forget it. I thought it was so dope, and I'm like, that's my guy. I love Kofi Kingston. He's got the sweet fighting style, and I just loved it. Eddie Kingston, all of it. It was so dope. And once he lost that push, and I'll never forget that night too, where Randy Orton, stupid.
Yeah.
He ruined that dude's career because Kofi has so much going for him at that time. And it felt good to see him get the pin on Orton. And I don't think Orton feels the same way. I think Orton kind of overreacted at that time, similar to the stuff with Mr. Kennedy. Maybe that was real bad. I don't know. But I think you have to be careful if you're a top guy what you say about someone as they're on the rise, because you could hurt their career or put them on the back burner, and they may never earn the potential money that they could by you saying something like that. Just as some responsibility as a wrestler. And Kofi Kingston, Daniel Bryan at the end, when he jumped off, I definitely thought he was going to do a boom drop off the top, but he's probably like, my tailbone can't keep handling this, bro.
Yeah.
that dive and ate the knee 1, 2, 3. I gave it a grade of an A. I thought it was excellent.
Yeah. There's very little to dislike. Like I said, the only thing that weird rope break spot kind of was the only thing that kind of threw me for a little bit. And not even because of
notes too. I'm glad you mentioned that.
Yeah, it's just because the thing is, like, it just stood out because, I mean, we just saw the one Elimination Chamber with the women, and even in this one where there were obvious pin attempts near the ropes with people's legs and arms near the ropes, and there was nothing called about that. So it just threw me for a little bit. But yeah, I'd agree with your grade about this. This was just a smoothly executed match. You're right. Like, I had the same feelings that you did about the beginning with Joe and Bryan. Those chops, man, with Thunder, it's like, that took me back to some early Ring of Honor matches that I've seen with Joe. Specifically that match he had against Kenta Kobashi, because I was like, oh, man, he's really He's living them chops. He's connected in a major way.
I don't know if you're gonna go Kobashi or Marufuji.
Hey, honestly, yeah, both of them.
Yes.
So that was cool. And yeah, I didn't even think about that. That was a nice callback. The whole Kofi Kingston Randy Orton thing, like him getting the pin on Randy. Yeah, I didn't think about it at the time, but yeah, you're absolutely right. I remember that rivalry, that feud that they had a couple years back.
2009, Kofi Kingston was like that series. Like you mentioned that series, Kofi Kingston when he was doing that Randy Orton stuff. That's Kofi Kingston I liked. I was like, this my guy right here. Like this guy's legit for real. And then
And I love the fact afterwards that New Day came out and supported him. I think that's what made this like this could be a bigger story if you let it be. And
I was a little worried that they might do like I don't know, man. Cause I felt like they were gonna maybe do like a little turn right there. I was getting kind of worried because they do stuff like that sometimes. So I was like, man, I hope they don't do shit like that right now. But
wait, time out. Before I sent you guys the invites, I definitely was like, I'm looking at my TV just like this. I'm like, hold up. I don't know. Tommaso Ciampa stuff could happen. Let me make sure it's all the way off before I even say anything or send anything. But yeah, that was definitely really dope. I'm glad though that they didn't break New Day up, and I hope they don't do kind of the turn on each other. Maybe you can have them go their own separate ways. There's different ways that you could do that type of stuff, but I love that they had that moment with each other, and I don't want to hear the Black History Month and all that stuff. I'm happy for Kofi as a superstar that I've always enjoyed and someone who I've loved watching his career so far in WWE, and hopefully we get to see more. But overall show thoughts, guys, real quick. I gave it a C+. I thought it was all right. The A saved this. It saved it. And Baron Corbin's match with Braun, I thought that really brought this down. And the Lacey Evans moment and Ronda's dud, all that stuff started to hurt the show really bad. Malik, what did you think for the overall show? I don't know if you do stars, whatever, but
I thought it was better than I thought it was. Like I did my predictions on my podcast, and I wasn't excited for it. I said, there's like 6 matches on this card, and there are a lot of people off this card that they didn't have, like Asuka, Elias. Rollins wasn't there. I don't know. They said he's kind of going through some injuries. They're trying to keep him healthy, but like there were just people on the card that I felt like they should have had on there. I don't understand why they were on it, but the show was really good. It surprised me. I think both chamber matches definitely delivered. Really good chamber matches. The tag team match was better than I thought it was going to be for what it was. Finn Balor winning the Intercontinental Championship is what really made that match to me. It kind of helped that match out a lot. And then the whole Baron Corbin match, it was a bad match to me. It wasn't good, and the whole Lacey Evans thing was confusing. But the Ronda match was what it was. But I mean, overall, I thought the show was pretty good. I thought it was better than I expected to be.
Bryan.
Yeah, I was entertained by the show. It was bookend by 2, really good Elimination Chamber matches, and I think that's paramount, especially if your event is titled Elimination Chamber. So they brought the goods with those 2 matches. I think everything in between that, your mileage may vary. I thought there was some good. There was, some bad, really bad. I think my biggest gripe is that the middle portion of it just kind of felt like something like you could have easily have done on television, whether on SmackDown, on Raw. Wasn't bad, but it didn't feel like it needed to be on a majorly produced or hyped show. But I definitely enjoyed it far more than I expected going in. And I would say that if you're stressed for time, I would say, yeah, give the 2 Elimination Chamber matches a watch. And I give it a thumbs up. I guess if I were to give it a grade, I'd say B-.
All right. I was close to B-, but then I just remembered that the bad, and I'm like, nope, C+. But I get a little harsh with it. Gentlemen, I have to thank you guys so much for coming on the show. I want to give you both some time to just plug your stuff, tell people where they can find you, give you a follow at, because these are both really cool dudes to talk wrestling with. Like I said, I absolutely have always enjoyed talking with Bryan, whether it was about WWE games, pro wrestling, and I greatly appreciate Bryan. He always retweets my stuff. I'm grateful for that and very gracious, and I'm grateful for everyone that's in the chat right now too, and I'll give you guys a shout out at the end. But Malik, kick it off, bro.
All right, you guys can go subscribe to my YouTube channel, Narcolepsy Boy 94. I do trivias, all type of trivias. If you're interested in trivia stuff, go check it out. I do podcasts. I do skits, funny skits. I do wrestling skits. And I also do live stream video games. And I also do that. And I also do what's the other word I'm looking for? I can't think of it right now. I'll come back to it. But then you can also I have a new podcast that I just recently got not too long ago on the Anchor app, which is now available on some other apps that I can't remember right now, but I'm slowly building my brand on the podcast right now. I got 2 podcasts right now. You can go check it out at 24/7 Wrestling Podcast is the name of the podcast. But I appreciate you having me on here, man. It's always fun to be on here. Next time I have to have you on my channel. You haven't been on my channel yet, so next time you have to come on my channel.
Most definitely. And I did a skit for you. Don't say that.
Yeah,
I was on there. I did a skit.
We did the skit, yeah.
All right. Before we get to Bryan, let me shout out the podcast peeps because there were a lot of new people in here too. B-Boy Skyline, Austin Stroop, Goober 316, Mr. Floodwater, Connor. Who else did we have in here? Little Fettuccine 69. I can't make these names up, bro. Lal Yay Man. So I appreciate you guys who are all in here talking. There was a lot of conversation going on. Thank you so much for joining us with that. Make sure you like the video, subscribe to the channel if you're enjoying. We're almost at that 300 mark. So if you could, please show a brother some love. I would appreciate it. Mr. Bryan Williams, though, the man of the hour. And we're not talking Leo Rush. Bryan, what do you got for the folks?
I just want to, thank you again for having me on. I always love doing your show. I love listening to your show. So keep it up, man. Keep it up. You put out a really good product. And I really enjoyed your show last week with Bryan. Really cool, good friend of mine.
Bryan said people Bryan with the Y's are a little crazy.
I feel the same way about the Bryans with an I. So hey, but thank you again for having me on.
I love you. Stop.
And Malik, it was nice to meet you, brother. I'm gonna subscribe to your channel right after I get done with this. As far as me, I'm just I'm on Twitter at TrueBWill, TruBWill. I occasionally put out some tweets about wrestling. I got a podcast I'm doing with a friend of mine. It's not really wrestling related, but just more like just a light podcast called The Bombcast, which comes out every week. I promote that on my Twitter as well. And that's really it. Yeah, just thanks again for having me on, man. This was fun, dog.
Yeah, absolutely. And I do really one day, I know me and Bryan have talked privately. I really want to get Bryan in to ask some video game questions and maybe just go through his entire journey. That may be like a 2 or 3 part series. I don't care how long it takes. I just want that little portion of it because I think this dude could podcast his life. He has so many great stories to talk about with people. And if you ever do that,
I need some info on them SmackDown versus Raw games, dog. Because those is my game. I'm telling you, bro. I was obsessed. I still got those games, bro. Still got those games.
Hold on, you're gonna have to subscribe to my podcast for that. You can go to anchor.fm/EPW. We are on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, Anchor, Breaker, wherever, Podbean, TuneIn, wherever you guys find podcasts, type in Everything Pro Wrestling. Make sure you check that out. We always have a podcast drop by every Wednesday, so we'll have a new one coming up within the next couple days. Make sure you listen up for that. If you're looking for reviews of wrestling shows, we always do live ones. Try to have some guests in here. If you want to be a guest, reach out to me on Twitter at EPW Show. And like I said, if you're watching on YouTube, make sure you subscribe to the channel so you guys don't miss out on any of this and all the great guests that I always have on. Once again, I thank both of you gentlemen and everyone who took time out to watch this and listen to us talk about pro wrestling for a long time. Gentlemen, we are out. Peace.
Peace.